Abusuafo ane sabre ya hyehyɛ bio ha ɛyɛ one version GH so ya mamu nyina akwa ba mo hyehyɛ so nko de ba firi kase so ɛbra so bio so nsɛm a yaboaboa no no ya de ba bɛso mo enra yɛbɔ mama ne sɛ Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mahama bɛkɔ akopie ma wɔ memra hye bedofie na State of the Nation address or the akɔ dwa wakɔ address o man no baabi a yɛwɔ ani gyina bia yɛwɔ bi wɔbɛto yɛ wapensempensemu ama yɛhunu bi ensɛm deɛ waboro bi so bebree na yɛka bibi kakra bi deɛ titani na watumi ahunu deɛ wɔkan yɛ na wahunu deɛ woba betie nso ɛwɔ mampanyine nsɛm no mu nti we deɛ tew ɛneɛ adisbo konkonko na magyemadwa no yɛmfra se ne mubɔ bi so na fe ɛne no memfa ntum mfa mamwe na onya abotre entie mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ɛse dumso okono o fixi dumso kura a dumso o ye bibia sene yenne mu bio nanso abandada no a wo matwam ko na nada kwakufu ado aban no wo mo kwe wo masanso agya akire sakate poto basa no nansam a okekan no problems a wodo bebre ho so o man no tebia ne gina be asese ye wo mu no edutwam enyo enyenyenyenyenye bonku nanso nya afi no obekenka na we afa na we asene ha na we ayese etwase fatase hunu de obema yehunu agya wono aneka na se wo se apotrowu a ene ehunu tenten ya so nsu aso ansa Ghana fo abato bum a wo moto yede ma no a wo munim se wo manya gidie wo no ba be solve problems no ampanampa oba no aba be solve de oba ye obeto ye a enye no economy ne state ye very very bad non-president sani okan no oba no aba besiesie ohwe enamahoden ho nsɛm a ECD edeka 68 billion Ghana cedis na cocoa board nso edeka 32.5 billion Ghana cedis tese kapa ye gya no wachire no enya asɛm ketwa nti ECD eni cocoa board nko aho ka no enya eka ketwa kora ye de ba bedi agro oda organized labor for us na sentem ye adwumafo akatua ntomu 10% a ene wonu omukokohia wo so obi a na anwene mpo se nhyiemu na obeba se bi nanso adwum bi wo ha se ohina no bi wo ha se chiamia no nti na se wonu ankasa betena adwumadie na se na anobaba adwumadie tumi koso no de adesre kase atudwa no osram se agya no mai papa sopa ngoma so na nim odani yemu a na sese wo man ni gina bia na tebi a mebeto ye no Samo kasa mo jimi abro de metumi sesie ya ebeje nsemu enti mesrɛ mo anya de sɛ monso ahama bupen duntumu imu na etireje ya toto niema na bibia de dana kwamu a nyina atadwufo wa ye bewi atede na ye dide wo krom ha ama wo sebra wo boss no adwumayefo ya mpopo wo muti ya ntweso sɛ ne ye mpene ankase ebete ho atuampo abaye o ye kyerɛ podi ata ne so aye ntweso no ane sɛ amurumu wa wo mudi tu dwa bobo ho na ene wo mudi tu mu sɛ da ewiase de obi anu wo chief asempa kodo oba yeyi o se wa meto niema eye na sɛ wo so besiesie ama oman ni nyinaa yetumi agina brane na bibia tuma yeye dia ene ye nyinaa ye support nti ye beso kakra yi a wo de to ye so yimu na etireja niema toto ye sɛ ne a wo hye ye mbona watumi so ama ye botoma ye de akyɛn de nei o ma na ye nti wo so wo da organized labor for ase papa nti oman ne de sɛ yɛ ɔsɛ kufu ado kɔ no ogya bibi papa bi a na wɔyɛ ntutua papa bi a ɛne hwee ne kutreyem wɔanyɛ ɔman no ade papa bi a yɛbɛka sɛ de nsɛsi ebo na Mahama sɛ ɛnyɛ afɛ no ɔbɔbɔ blame game o Ghana fo nim sɛ ne economy ne sitie ɛna ɔmo se papa wo ɛne esusu sɛ wobetumi ayɛ nti brana beto brana begina atrempɔn so na yɛma wo ntutu mfa maye ɛna ɔmo de ne begina ha sese ampa nso waba ɔne na bedi akyire he excellency Professor Jane na opoku adema beka wentri apam ho ene na soafo a wayi wo mo na wo matumi atoto oman no ede oman na gina ni yie mu se ne ese na fata odi begina na so peme kama nti ohia obi a moa se twoboi ene ehia dom no obi a nso mu ene oman na yetumi enkyekere abusua weyi ene ensem a mampanyini ene ye ba begya ne ni atum waburu su bebre nti ye babe de ene na ka ho ana ye de ne no babe to aso ma no wetimetie ensem ama bobo suwe senia vividly ana osiko into detail mu a na ewutie ewo one vision abusua wɔyɛ abotue.
Was 23.8%, significantly higher than the threshold agreed with the IMF. The Ghana cedi continued its downward slide, losing 19% of its value against the dollar in 2024. It had already in the previous year lost 27.8% of its value. In addition to the public debt, which amounts to a staggering 721 billion cedis, several state-owned enterprises are also in debt, including the ECG, which owes 68 billion Ghana cedis. Ghana Cocoa Board, the hope of cocoa farmers, is also highly indebted. Its balance sheet indicates a total debt of 32.5 billion Ghana cedis, of which 9.7 billion is due to be paid at the end of September 2025. In 2023-2024 crop season, Cocoa Board was unable to supply 333,767 metric tons of cocoa, which it had sold at $2,600 per ton. As a result, the then management of Cocoa Board rolled over these contracts into the 2024-2025 season. Honorable members, Mr. Speaker, this implies that for every ton of cocoa delivered this year, in fulfillment of the rollover contracts, Cocoa Board and Ghanaian farmers are going to lose $4,000 in revenue. Mr. Speaker, as I address this Honorable House, Cocoa Board has supplied 210,000 tons out of the rolled over contract, resulting in a revenue loss of $840 million for both Cocoa Board and the Ghanaian farmer. Mr. Speaker, Cocoa Board and the Ghanaian farmer will lose another $495 million by the time the board finishes supplying the remaining rolled over contracts. Additionally, cocoa road commitments alone total 21.7 billion cedis, of which only 4.4 billion is included in the total debt of 32.5 billion. This debt has arisen mainly because of the decision in 2019 and 2020 to award road contracts worth over $1 billion because of the election. Mr. Speaker, the energy sector faces significant financial challenges, primarily due to collection and system losses, non-compliance with the cash waterfall mechanism, and legacy debts. The financing shortfall has risen considerably to approximately $2.2 billion, or 34 billion Ghana cedis for 2025. And urgent measures will be needed to reduce it to sustainable levels and ultimately eliminate it. The financial sector continues to struggle despite the reportedly spending of 29.9 billion on the financial sector cleanup exercise up to date. Scant reserves were also left for debt servicing, despite implementing what may be considered the most severe and distressing economic policy in the annals of the Fourth Republic, if not in the entirety of our nation's history. And I'm referring to the domestic debt exchange program. This is in stark contrast to our actions in 2017 before we left office, when we allocated $250 million to the sinking fund handed over to the incoming government to service debts, Ghana's debts. There have been claims that buffers were left for debt repayments, oncoming debt repayment this year. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me give you the statement of account for the debt service reserve account, which is also popularly referred to as the sinking fund. This fund shows a balance of only $64,000 in the dollar account, $64,000 in the dollar account, and 143 million Ghana cedis in the cedi account. The repercussions of the accumulation of debt and economic mismanagement will require extensive work and sacrifice to repair. In the next 4 years, to put things in context for you, Mr. Speaker, in the next 4 years, our debt servicing will amount to 280 billion cedis. And this comprises of 150 billion for domestic debt and 130 billion in external debt servicing. Our catastrophic debt position has also severely impacted infrastructural projects that should have been completed. Currently, there are 55 stalled projects due to the default of debt and subsequent restructuring, with a total value of $2.95 billion not disbursed. The stalling of these projects is expected to result in a cost overrun of about 15 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding this gloomy background, I remain committed to leading this government and taking every necessary step to reset our economy, getting things back on track, and working with the good people of our country to build the Ghana we want. Mr. Speaker, we are doubling our efforts to complete all outstanding structural reforms. Through the budget, we will implement corrective measures to restore fiscal discipline and debt sustainability. We're also working hard towards completing the upcoming 4th review of the IMF-supported program. The review is scheduled from April 2nd to April 15, 2025, and the IMF Executive Board is expected to approve it in June of this year. As we have done previously, we're also building buffers in the sinking fund and adopting prudent debt management practices to ensure prompt repayment of upcoming domestic and external debt maturities. In this respect, government successfully honored the matured coupon payment of $6.081 billion in cash and $3.46 billion in kind, which was due in February 2025 to all domestic debt exchange program bondholders, fully paid. Mr. Speaker, count our blessings and name them one by one. Yes, we're a nation troubled on many fronts, but we also have many blessings, among which is a now firmly established democracy that, for all its imperfections, has enabled 4 peaceful transfers of power in our land. Nestled in a sub-region that is often plagued by strife and political instability, there's a good reason to take sober satisfaction that these successful, peaceful power transfers have become routine. Mr. Speaker, 50 days ago, I took the solemn oath to assume leadership of this country and serve with truth and humility. This was preceded a month earlier by a watershed election that promised to revive our nation's fortunes and give us a new lease of life. The election result gave us an important opportunity to change course and move off the slippery slopes our country had been descending that had caused so much economic pain, suffering, and grief to our people. In their collective wisdom and with resounding clarity, the Ghanaian people chose to chart a new path to reset the country's economy. And through their votes, they made it clear that they will henceforth demand the highest standards of governance from those they put in positions of leadership. The good people of Ghana elected me to office with a historic electoral margin of nearly 1.7 million votes. Separating me from my next opponent, giving Ghanaians the first female vice president, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. For the National Democratic Congress, NDC, that resounding victory is a selfless call to duty from a people who are tired of years of economic hardship and poor governance. That call therefore places an obligation on us and all who serve, including legislators from both sides of the House, to do our utmost with decency and humility to change the circumstances and the state of our country. Mr. Speaker, as I stated earlier, Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution requires that I give an account of the state of our nation to Parliament. I'm sad to report that the state of our nation is not good. Our economy is in crisis and our people are suffering unprecedented hardships. Mr. Speaker, we will host a national economic dialogue on March 3rd and 4th. On March 11th, the Minister of Finance, on my behalf, will present the budget estimates for the financial year 2025 to this August House. These two events will allow us to present the real state of Ghana's economic crisis to the people. Mr. Speaker, it is not my style to lament and shift blame when confronted with challenges. Mr. Speaker, it's not my style to lament and shift blame when confronted with challenges. My approach is to accept challenges and work hard to resolve them. Indeed, this is precisely what the people of Ghana elected me to do. I have therefore not come here to lament on the state of our country, though there's much to lament about. I understand why I was elected with such high voter confidence, and that is to solve Ghana's problems. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, and within the constraints of time, I'll take the liberty to elaborate on how we intend to address the numerous challenges facing us as a nation. Yesterday, February 26, 2025, marks exactly 10 years since I stood in this chamber, at this very spot, to declare my determination to fix Dumso, a legacy problem of power shortages. And Mr. Speaker, I fixed it. Yes, I promised to fix it, and I did. And I wish to place firmly on record that from January 2016 until I handed over the administration of this country on January 7, 2017, there was no power rationing or load management in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, today, inspired by the Almighty God and propelled by the massive mandate given to me by the good people of Ghana, I am moved to make a similar purposeful and bold declaration that I, John Dramani Mahama, I will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and prosperity. That I will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and prosperity. My government, working with you and every Ghanaian, will solve the challenges because we have developed a plan with our people's support. When I decided to run for president again, I did so because of what I knew about the state of our country. I was aware that huge problems awaited me upon assumption of office, but nothing could prepare anyone for the reality of the depths to which our economy and our governance had sunk. Our elders say that a frog's true length can be ascertained only after it has died. And how right they were. It is common knowledge that our economy is in dire straits, which is putting it mildly, because an initial assessment of the books we have discovered, after initial assessment of the books, we have discovered that our economic problems are much deeper than was previously known. We have inherited a country that is broken on many fronts. The profundities of the challenges confronting us are staggering. We are saddled with staggering debts and glaring signs of almost deliberate and, in some cases, reckless mismanagement of our resources. Mr. Speaker, not even the restraints of an IMF program
Jafo Mampani John Dramani Mahama Sonfo Dramani Atupi na wote ye o memra hyebedwafie State of the Nation Address eneda dua di kan kura ye etwato ayete ne nka eya afimpimienu dunso awde a obekatwato ene ayi afimpimienu ne aduonu num nso de di kan come back again na se Mahama ababio na se Mahama back again so na di kan ena odi atodwane tinsam no ena wankasa watie bi wadwempo ho hia nti ya afafa number iso na yenhu de wodwene efa papa yinsem no nti na ya to de atum ene tena de ensem ebehuru okure mu ano no panimfo bi adwempo o mede batutu dwane betietie ni nane asande abesomo ebremu de yedubesia DC poku konko bona champena na besia emamu nyina mbo eniti ne hwedamasia enyado bo madina se oni ebetena afebo na watwi ni demu nyina ne afi mu nyina na nse ne ba ye ne wache